my wife said, "You're not going to believe what your son just said to me." And I said, "What?" I had texted to say I was coming home. I wasn't there. She looked at my 16-year-old son and said, "What's new from Dad?" My son says to my wife, he says he wants a divorce. Okay. Okay. So you hear your laugh? That was my reaction. When my wife told me this, that was my reaction.
Yeah.
And my wife said, "Is that funny to you?" I said, "No."
No,
it's not.
I'll have a talk with him.
No, I said that is.
What have I told you about reading my text out loud?
She knows better. You can't live without mother.
Apparently. He does that a lot. Sometimes I'll text him if he's home by himself. Say, "Everything okay?" "No, the house is on fire."
That's rich.
That kid's got a quality.
That's what I thought.
That is rich.
But my wife said, "Is that funny to you?" And I said, "Absolutely not. I am going to. Divorce is never funny, is it?" I said, "No." Then my son actually goes, "Divorce is never funny." My son said, "2 Christmases." I said,
Listen.
There's something about funny. Talking about advantage.
Okay. And my wife, boy, her
He's
head
on fire.
Yeah, that cuts her to the quick.
her head almost exploded. He goes, "I don't know, 2 Christmases."
I'll show you 2 Christmases.
Where does he get this stuff?
Mind on this kid.
Yeah. He says stuff
He's not
like
listening to this show, is he?
that. Clearly not.
No. He's listening to real comedy.
He's working it. Whatever he's doing, he's working. And then we get into the draft, the fantasy football draft, and it takes a lot of them forever to make their picks. And my son said, "Well, remember, most of them are really old." And I was like, "They're my age. They're exactly my age, because they have kids the same." I said, and then he said, "Yeah, but some of them are women." And I was like, "Easy," because I was looking around. Now, at that point, my wife had her headphones on listening to her crime podcast. Like I said, and he goes, "Good thing she's got those on, man. She'd be mad." Yeah, you don't do not say those kinds of
You've
things.
already hit the divorce one once.
Yeah, let it lie for the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fist bump, good line.
Does your son know about comedy callbacks? Will that come up again? Or does he move on to new material?
He seems to move on a lot. I mean, he goes from one thing to the next. And
Tell him tomorrow's another day to save him.
Jeez, but that whole divorce thing, and I was just laughing, just like you were.
That's a good one.
No, yeah. Especially in the Christmas line, I was laughing.
Yeah.
And that's when she said, "Is that funny to you?" And I said, "Absolutely not."
You're both the targets. I mean, he's making himself laugh. He's got no audience.
He was all over that one, I'll tell you that. Here's the technology update. Biggie has a Roomba. I've never had one. I hear they're great. They clean up your house. They vacuum the floor when you're not home.
Yeah, you can just turn it on. You can set it when you want.
Yeah.
I think it does better on wood floors, personally, than
Yes.
carpet.
Yes. You've said that.
If you've got multi-floors and you have to move it, right?
You would have to put it up.
Like you got 3 or 4 floors, don't you, Kelly?
They don't climb steps.
Yeah, they're
think
not
they
step
did.
climbers.
We have some different levels.
You would.
Yes. We don't have a Roomba.
Does a Roomba know if it's at the top of a stairway to stop?
Yes.
Really?
It didn't go tumbling down.
Well, it depends, I guess, on what version you get. But yes, some have that. They show it in the video. They get to the edge of the stair, they stop, they turn around.
Now, here's the new one. It's called the Roomba J7, and it's their latest model. $849. I know. But they say it will hold 60 days worth of dirt. So you could do it every day for 60 days and not have to change it until after the 2 months. They also say that they have better software. You can start them from your phone from somewhere else. And they have figured out it will avoid dog feces left behind on the floor by a dog. Because we've heard stories where the Roomba will run over it and the dog will take a crap when you're not home. It'll run over and spread it all the way around. You've heard that story a few times.
Good technology. How does the Roomba know?
It has.
It's got a nose.
You know what they should put on these things?
Smell tech.
A camera so that you can watch it.
So you can see it from
your
I wonder
phone.
If it does, yeah.
Come down to floor level.
Maybe they do have them. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's a good idea. It also, apparently, sometimes they get stuck under sofas. They'll go under it, and then something will not allow it to come back out, and they say they fixed that as well. It's got a sensor on it where it won't.
See, mine just bumps. As soon as it bumps something, it's like, nope, turns around, goes the other way.
Yes.
How often, Biggie, are you running yours?
Oh, once a week.
And it really does work.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is if you have a dog that sheds like mine, you will empty it several times as it runs.
Well, in this.
As it runs.
60 days.
Yeah, you pause it, empty it, because I mean
That's a small apartment.
Yeah, it fills up.
Boy.
Yeah, it fills up with dog hair. But I love the fact that it does because it gets the dog hair.
This is the iRobot founder and CEO says, we've been working on this technology for 2 years now, and we're guaranteeing that it works. Talking about the dog poop, where it will not run over dog poop, because they've seen it themselves.
Heard stories about that.
Oh, yeah.
Are that many America's dogs pooping in the house?
Well, they shouldn't be, but of course you get an accident once in a while. I mean, you don't hear about it every once a year. Somebody puts it on social media or TikTok or whatever. But they're saying that it was a problem, and now they've eliminated
And it will, yeah. Like one morning it was running and I spilled juice. And of course it happened to go, and I was going to get a towel to clean it up, and right as it found its way to the juice. Just take the juice through the whole apartment. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Really?
Yeah.
You got sticky feet.
Supposedly it wouldn't do that now. At least
Was this your cran grape? No, was that your wife's mixer, Kelly?
cranberry.
Cranberry.
Diet cranberry.
Diet cranberry.
What she uses.
This was when I was in my grapefruit juice phase.
Oh, I remember.
I remember those
yeah.
days.
That was a
while.
yeah,
Those were good days.
That was a
having
pretty,
a morning grapefruit juice.
pretty fun
Room
time
temp.
for
It
you,
was a
I'd
fun
say.
day.
Yeah.
Not recommended.
Did you see Kim Jong-un has lost a bunch of weight? I mean, a bunch.
We just saw the picture. I just saw the picture this morning before the show started.
From his illness.
Who knows?
I don't know. Or if he just
it
disappeared.
almost looks like a different person.
Yeah.
But it's definitely him.
Yeah.
He's wearing a tan suit,
Mm-hmm.
for the summer.
Slim down. Looks good. Little seersucker.
Does he? Yeah.
Looks really, really good, yeah. More technology. A study has found that if you are in a lot of Zoom meetings, as so many people have been for the last year and a half or so, turn off your camera. It'll help with Zoom fatigue. A lot of people are getting Zoom fatigue because they're staring at a screen so much and seeing their coworkers from home. So a large study was done at the University of Arizona, and they said, just turn off your camera and be part of it that way, and it'll help you.
It took a large study to figure that out.
And apparently a lot of people, when they turn off their camera, other people think less of them. They're like, hey, how come you're not showing your face on here? What are you doing
What's
from
the
home?
purpose?
I'm sure it is annoying as hell if that's what you're doing constantly.
Oh, to be on Zoom all the
Well,
time?
we're lucky we didn't have to do that much at all.
Right. A few. We had a few. And remember that one time when we were having the meeting, and I was in the meeting room 5 minutes before time, and only one other person was there, and he was starting to talk to me about football, and I muted him, and all he saw was my big finger coming in his face.
Right toward his face.
Right. And I just was like,
I'm done talking to
I
you.
can't talk to you anymore. And they did say that more people, 200 executives at large firms have said, we've had to make a change, fire somebody over a Zoom goof, which is a term Biggie coined.
Yes.
Zoom goof.
Of course.
Where people accidentally say something on Zoom, not knowing they did. Biggest example was Jeffrey Toobin of CNN. He was on a Zoom call, thought it was over, thought he had turned his computer off, and began
Jagging it.
I was going to say,
Wagging it.
I was going to say self-pleasuring,
Well,
which is exactly what he did.
I think the big mistake that people make and how they get caught is they turn off the video feed, but they don't turn off their mic.
But they saw him doing it, right?
Tubin, yeah, but I'm just saying, like some of these other Zoom goofs,
I see.
where you say something bad about somebody.
Yeah.
A lot of times, what it is they think they're turning off the whole thing.
Right.
What they're really doing is just turning off the camera part, not realizing they can be heard.
Is that a flaw in the Zoom setup that it's a two-part thing?
Well, it is.
Yeah, I guess.
Picture and
I can't
audio?
remember exactly how it works.
If you turn your camera off, basically then you're just on a conference call, which
Right.
we've had that technology forever. So then it just, which really, what we had in Zoom calls too, instead of people showing their face, and I was glad to figure this out, they just put up a little, like, their initials. They would say, like, CK.
Yeah.
It's because I didn't like people seeing me.
Yeah, that's what you do when you. Actually, I think when you turn it off, when you turn the camera off, it puts up your initials or whatever,
okay.
whatever name you put in there. It
All
takes
right.
the
Well,
initials from
in that case, I did start turning my camera off. Littlest Patriot didn't like that.
you had a CK up there.
Yeah, he said, you need to be seen. I said, why?
Why?
He said, come on, you need to be seen. 60 people in this Zoom call. Show yourself. At that time, I was at home, and, I didn't look my best. Plus, the angles, I have to hold it up to not show my chins, and the blood starts rushing to my shoulder, and it starts to hurt. It really
That's the old
does.
Statue of Liberty.
It does start to hurt. They also say this pandemic may be the end of fax machines for good. Apparently, I didn't realize this.
Who's been using them except maybe lawyers?
Hospitals use a lot of fax machines, apparently. And I didn't realize that, but there's so many patients at hospitals now that it's slowing down the system. And the reason they said they use fax machines is because they're unhackable, and there's medical records there, of course. And so a lot of times hospitals will use fax machines, which I didn't know. Because now everything, like somebody asked me the other day, when I took my son to the doctor, they said, do you want me to put this on your MyChart? And I looked at him like Chris Demm and said, I don't know what that is.
Oh, God, I love MyChart.
I don't know what it is. I have no
I'm sure
idea.
I have one.
And let me tell you, you are not alone in this at all, because
I don't know
anytime I'm on the phone with anyone doctor related, they always say, do you have MyChart? And I say, I do, and I love it. And they are so excited. You do? You know how it works? Oh, my God, thank you. Because I bet 80% of the people don't.
We don't want to learn it.
Yeah.
We don't know anything
So it's
about
like, do you have MyChart? No.
It's just another thing.
But you can see all your stuff there.
Everything.
And they can, like, tell you what to do, like your medications and all that stuff there. And every time when I had my colonoscopy, my guy at the end of it said, I'm just going to upload all the information to MyChart. And I said, I don't know what.
Why don't you just tell me?
Yeah. I mean, we're sitting here.
I got a pen and paper.
We're sitting right here.
Just draw me a picture.
But they're saying now, because it's created such a backlog at hospitals, that might be it. Because you can even scan and email stuff. It doesn't have to be on fax machine.
That's what you'd have to do at home. If you had to fax something, you'd take a picture of it and email it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
like if in the realty business, look at all the documents you have to sign when you buy a house.
I know.
But now you can do all that stuff
Electronic.
You just touch your screen and sign.
Made it so much easier.
Yeah,
That really did.
it's not faxing, but it's got to be close.
Very similar. And you've already got your signature on file. And when you click the button, your signature appears.
Yeah.
Which is really good. And that's great technology.
And that's fine. Nobody reads that stuff anyway. Of
Course you don't. You just sign where the little piece of
That's right.
where the little tab is.
That's exactly right. I saw a comedian the other day. This is just went viral. And we were talking about Zoom meetings. And his point was, this is what it sounds like at the beginning of every single Zoom meeting. If you're in one, you will hear these phrases said.
Thank you guys for joining. Well, we got a couple more folks joining, so we'll just give them a second. Can you guys hear me, by the way? It's coming in clear? Okay. No, because I could see you, but I couldn't hear you. And happy Wednesday. Or it's Tuesday, isn't it? One of those weeks. I've been doing like a daily walk in the morning just to, feel like a commute. Should we get started, or where are you guys calling from? Let me actually ping him, because he did accept the invite. Are you coming? Okay, we can get started, and then when he joins... Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, we're just getting started.
That's exactly how all of them are. Literally all those things are.